All right, now we're going to bring the conversation closer to home and do a personal security assessment. It's good to take an honest inventory of ourselves, our lifestyle, and how we operate in the world so we can make an honest assessment of our vulnerability. Then we can fix what we need to fix before we get on a predator's radar. A study was done in a prison where the inmates were shown, they were all convicted of violent crimes, and they were shown a video of people walking on the streets in a busy intersection. Then they were asked to assess who they would target and who they would avoid on a scale of 1 to 10. The results were consistent across the board. They all chose and avoided the same subjects. So, what observable traits made them ideal targets? After analyzing everything, they came up with short, shuffling strides when walking, and not swinging their arms in proportion to their stride. Exaggerated side-to-side movement when walking. Head facing down when walking, like on their phone. So the bottom line really is disorganized awkwardness made them ideal targets. So what made them hard targets, or what did they do that made the predators not want to target them? It was medium to long strides when walking, arms swinging in proportion to their stride, and their head up with a strong, determined walking pattern. And their eyes were visible when they were walking. Bottom line, they were intentional, aware, and confident. So, back to assessing ourselves by a quick observation. How would an onlooker perceive you? Disorganized, timid, unaware, disconnected from the environment, or confident, focused, and intentional? Criminal predators or hunters, they are actively looking for low-risk, high-reward targets. They can also be opportunists. They are hunting for vulnerabilities. So, are you a high-risk target to a predator, or are you vulnerable? So we need to ask, like, how we are in relationships. How quick are you to trust? Can someone use your empathy to manipulate you? Do you stand up for yourself? Are you able to set and enforce boundaries, even if it makes people angry? How much information about you and your patterns are public? And more specific questions we want to ask is, who are the highest risk people that would target you? Remember, about 90% of the attacks happen from people that you would already know. So make a list of people who have grudges against you. Who are the people that might be manipulating and conning you, playing the long game? Who have you cut ties with? Maybe it was someone that was close to you that might still want your attention. Are there strangers in your life that repeatedly show up in random places? Who is that person that you know that is socially just off? Maybe they're too charming, or too angry, or too antisocial. Next question is, what would they target? Do you have resources a predator would want? Do you have guns that they could steal? Do you have children? Bank account? What do you advertise that you own? Keep in mind that some predators just want to cause suffering because they can. Next is, when would they target you? Your property or your children? Do you have predictable routines? When is your home empty? When are your children unsupervised? And when are you alone? Then where? Where are the highest risk places that you and your family frequent? How could a predator get access to you? Parking lots or other transitional places? Maybe the internet. Next question is, how are your defenses? How fit are you? Can you be a threat to an attacker's safety? Can you run a mile? Can you outrun an attacker? Could you use an improvised weapon? How is your home security? Can you see the inside of your home from the outside? Do you have strong doors, locks, and windows? Do you have cameras? How is your car security? Do you keep doors locked and your car gassed up? Is your phone fully charged? Do you have a flashlight? Where is it? Do you have coworkers that will accompany you if you're in a high-risk job? Do you have a supportive social network or friends and family that will support you and be there for you when you need them? Does someone know where you are at all times? Do you have important phone numbers like your attorney, school security, doctors, family members' numbers? Do you have them all easily accessible? And on paper, because if you lose your phone, break your phone, runs out of batteries, maybe you could tuck all those phone numbers away on a piece of paper in your wallet. Do you control your own resources? Like, do you have a bank account, your own transportation, and your own phone? So in conclusion, just because we find vulnerabilities doesn't mean that we have to wrap ourselves in bubble wrap and never leave our home. It simply means that we need to know when we are in a vulnerable position. That's when our alertness needs to be on high and our defenses need to be accessible. So here's an exercise that you can do. Plan a crime. If you were desperate and hunting after property, body, or life, how would you hunt you? Then create defenses in those vulnerable areas.